was a family movie. I can't remember which one it was now, but Borat came out and just wiped it clean. It took the #1 spot, and this other publisher had all their commercials ready because they were sure that they were going to be #1. So they had their commercials ready that said we were the #1 movie in North America. Then they had to edit the word family in there. We were the #1 family movie in North America.
That's funny. But yeah, that's pretty much it from Nintendo. I mean, I'm sure unfortunately, none of us were invited to E3, so
No.
I'm sure they had all kinds of playables.
Next year.
They might have had some, backroom discussions, I'm sure.
Like I said, we need to get Nintendo to sponsor us, and then we can go to E3.
I don't want Nintendo.
And
I don't want Nintendo to sponsor us.
I don't want to have to walk around with a...
I heart my Wii.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But do you have anything to add to that? Anything of note for Wii? We, few big releases coming this fall.
Mm-hmm.
Metroid Prime, Smash Brothers.
If they don't put Smash Bros. Online, that's a huge mistake.
Oh, they will. I don't know if their net.
Well, when they were saying these are all the online games we have coming out, they didn't put Smash Brothers in there.
Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if that
But
like they
how
had
many
a,
soccer moms want to play Super Smash Brothers online?
I don't know.
How many soccer moms want their kids to be playing it online?
Yeah, but the way Nintendo does it, it's so like you can't do anything online except for do this action. Like when you're playing Pokemon online, I guess you can talk to someone if they're on your friends code list.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just play a random person, there's no talking, there's no nothing. It's like playing the computer. All you do is you see the action the person does, and then you do it to him. It's boring. Why am I playing online to do that?
Yeah.
I guess it's safe though. It's
exactly.
safe.
And like even if you rename your Pokemon, then you trade it online, that name's not going to show up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nintendo's very anti-controversy too. They don't want anybody to be able to say anything bad about them. There was a news story came out about the range on the DS being big enough that if there was somebody in a passing car with a DS, your kid could link up with them, and that would be horrible.
Oh, did you hear the one about same thing about the PSP, but the web browser, whatever, on the PSP? You could look up porn on this. It's like, dude, do you have computers in that school? They can do on those too.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's.
They have porn on the internet?
Yeah.
Get out! I didn't know that. I'll have to look it up.
So let's flip to the third system.
Yeah,
or
Sony
company.
I bet you can go to Nintendo.com and within 9 clicks you can get to a porn site.
Oh, yeah, it's like the equivalent of the Kevin Bacon game. Only it would call it like 4 clicks from porn or something like that. Yeah. But Microsoft had theirs on, I guess it was Tuesday night, I think it was. And then both Nintendo and Sony had theirs on Wednesday consecutively. Like there was about an hour and a half between them.
Yeah.
So Sony, big announcements. Really, they started with Jordan's, I think, favorite E3 moment when Chewbacca came out and.
They only started with it. That was actually later on in the press conference when they announced the new PSP. But
no, I want to start with that because
I
know it's your favorite moment, Jordan.
Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing for everybody, I think.
What
are you doing?
I heard some nervous laughter that like
not to
laughing
mention
because this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that Jack Tretton is really lame as it is. Like he just seems really not interested in the console, just marketing kind of.
I gotta look at some pictures and figure out which one he is, because I'm sure I know who you're talking about.
But he did say right from the onset, he came out and he flat out said, "I'm not used to doing this. I'm really nervous."
I didn't see that just because I had seen on GameSpot and they at the start there's no audio for the first 2 minutes for some reason, and then he just starts talking.
Okay,
so.
no, he came out. One of the first things he said was he came out and he basically, he was introduced.
I'm this guy,
and he says, I'm not used to doing this. I'm used to sort of staying in the background and letting. Kaz and Phil Harrison do the presentation. So he said, "Bear with me. I'll try and get through this. I'm really nervous." So but yeah, he did seem kind of awkward. And one of the moments, of course, was when they unveiled the new PSP, which basically all the concept designs that we had seen floating around on the internet wrong.
Yep.
It looks the exact same but thinner.
So do you want to go through the list of all the features of the PSP? Of the new one?
Sure, we can go through it real quick. It's thinner.
It's lighter.
It's lighter. Brighter screen.
No, not brighter screen, I don't think.
I've heard it's got a brighter screen.
More RAM, so it'll load faster.
Yep.
And then, here's one I have a joke about, where it has a TV output or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a fanboy joke that I don't really think is true, but I think it's funny. It's like, something that puts PSP games on a TV, Isn't that called a PS2?
Yeah. It's very true, but yeah, one of the big features on it is the TV out, which I'm glad to see they finally did, because that drove me nuts.
Even if you wanted to show something to your... Actually, I mean, that makes it a mini DVD player as well.
They promote it as a multimedia device. I mean, it plays, music and Well, it plays MP3s and UMD or encoded videos and so on and so forth. But with no TV output, I mean, I'm like, if I could, pictures even.
Yeah.
UMDs were like way too expensive just to watch on that one screen for the one moment when you're on a trip or something.
Exactly. But what else? So you've got your TV out.
The screen looks bigger. Either the casing is slightly shorter, or the screen is slightly bigger.
I think it's slightly shorter. I think
is it?
It's a little bit more compact. But I remember.
But essentially the design, and then of course it comes in 3 colors. You got your black, your white, and your silver.
And it's all glossy. The back is glossy, whereas on the old version the black is a matte.
They changed the UMD tray as well.
Yeah, made it simpler. They said, which allowed for less bulk.
Yeah, I don't know. When I looked at the screens, I saw it on HackMyStuff.com first because I was like, I hadn't really seen E3 and I was not really paying attention to it this year. Even though I did know it was coming this year, I watched Microsoft the day of.
Yeah, we do have a video on the. I posted a video earlier that week on the website with that basically goes through some of the key features. It actually shows one guy holding one and opening the UMD tray and playing with a couple of the features. But
yeah, went to HackMyStuff.com. I looked. The first picture I see is of the new PSP. Just waves of disappointment went over me. I was like, oh, it's not even anything new.
Yeah.
And I looked into it, and it seems
I was disappointed. I wanted another analog stick.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that without announcing entirely new console, though.
Why?
Because
they had to go back and put them in games or anything.
New games that use both sticks can't be played on an old system.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Well, I guess you could do the thing they did with the original PlayStation where they released the DualShock controller. And then the games could support it, but they also had to support the old one.
Yeah.
So you could do that.
The 1000 version machine will not support that. You can actually break a 1000 version machine using a new controller on it.
I think there'd be more fallout if they did release 2 analog sticks and have 2 different PSPs and all the stuff. Fallout. Like there would be a lot of.
It'd be Nintendo.
It'd be the same thing people bitched about the 360. Like when one without a hard drive. Well, now you got a program for no hard drive, and now this is gonna, probably more negative than positive coming out of that.
Pre E3 as well, they sticking with Sony but getting away from the PSP, they did announce a quote unquote, I'm doing the air quotes, a price drop.
Yeah.
Only to now is this confirmed
then
or is this
then they retracted it, then they reinforced it, then they did it, then they retracted it, then they I'll be honest, the information we've got on the screen right now wouldn't surprise me a little bit if tomorrow we were wrong again.
Yeah, the price drop is not actually a price drop. It is a clearance price on the 60 gig machines.
Right.
I don't know. I think what they're going to do, I think they've already kind of said this, is that when they're finished selling all the 60 gigs out, they're not going to be left with the $5.99 SKU because then they're just going to bring that one down to that price when they're finished selling it. So the $4.99 will probably sell out this holiday season, and then starting in January they'll probably shove that 80 gig down to $4.99.
But in an interview I saw with Kaz Hirai yesterday, which was one-on-one in a hotel room, he flat out said that the 80 gig will be $5.99.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that to be contradicted.
No, it's going to be $5.99, but after they sell it at the 60s, I think they're going to put it back to $4.99.
Because I guess we'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I was a little choked to find out that that SKU is going to be discontinued, and theoretically, unconfirmed, that price point may not continue.
Yeah.
With their other models. So.
What else is going to be new in the 80 gig? Is it just the extra 20 gigs?
And it comes to copy of MotorStorm.
Yeah. Well, right now, depending on where you buy retail, I know there's other places. Not only did they drop the price by $100, but you get 5 free Blu-ray discs
or more.
I think it just goes towards what Sean was saying earlier, where it's probably cheaper